for the thumbnail is hot enough. Anyway, this is Sunday, May the 9th. Yep, May the 9th, 2021. I'll do a short video today on how to hire and keep good people. Boy, I've had more questions and comments and interactions with people over the last few weeks, not counting years, but the last few weeks on how to hire and keep good people. I can't say that there's one answer that is the be all, do all, but here goes. And some of the things I've gotten from Simon Sinek, and some from my own background, some from other friends of mine, and people I know. The biggest thing that I can say is don't hire from a resume. Oh man, personnel managers are probably going crazy right now. What do you mean don't hire from a resume? A resume, as they are today, basically gives you an idea of what people have done, where they worked, what their degree is, whatever. I have found over the years, resumes do not give you the kind of people that you want that will be loyal, will be all for your company, will fit into your culture, that will stick with you and have your best interest at heart. Resumes pretty much are blank. So, personal managers, you can shoot me all you want to, I'm just giving it back. What are you looking for in an employee? That's the key. And some people say, oh, I want a hard worker, oh, I want somebody that's on time, oh, I want somebody that I don't have to worry about them being here. They're not always calling in and saying they can't be there. Okay. So do you just want a warm body to fill a slot? Wrong answer. You want to just get somebody in because you're overwhelmed and understaffed and you just got to have somebody in there right now because you just can't take it. Oh, it's just so much on you. Wrong reason. I don't care how busy you are. I don't care how much trouble it takes to get the right person in. Just hiring somebody to have somebody is the biggest mistake any company can make, any manager can make, any human resource person can make, because that body, number one, is probably not going to be loyal. Somebody offers them 25 cents an hour more and they're gone. They run into a little difficulty because maybe the commute is a little bit longer than they want it to be. Your company doesn't offer the advancement that they really, really want. You know, the excuses are innumerable. Consider some of these things. I'll have to read some of these. Simon Sinek, he's really good. If you see his videos or his books, be sure to buy them. Here's a couple of thoughts he said. When we hire, we tend to look at somebody's resume and skill set and their past results. That's the way people have done it for hundreds of years, decades of now. So since that's how it's always been done, shouldn't that be how we always do it? A hiring decision, I like this from him, is like an adoption. Oh man, when he said this, I thought, wait a minute, it is like an adoption. You're going to bring this unknown child no matter what the age, into your family. Don't you want to know something about the child? Or do you look at their resume? When were they born? Oh, they were born such and such a time. Oh, what country were they from? Or what kind of environment were they from? Or, you know, so since they're this or they're that, I want to adopt them or I don't. No. If you take the child home for what I call a trial run, I don't know if the social workers call it that, but this is what it is. It's a trial run. It doesn't matter if the child's a teenager, a 6-year-old, a baby. It doesn't matter. You have to get a feel for that child's personality and interaction with you. Usually by the time a child hits the teens, everybody is thinking, well, doctor. Why? Oh, they're already set in their ways. They have problems. They have this, they have. Sure, they got problems. Maybe their parents were killed in a car wreck or, no telling what might have happened, but sure they had issues. I would be more likely, me, my wife and I, to adopt a teen because you can talk with a teen. If they'll talk to you. They won't talk to you when you're not in hope, but anyhow. Even talking to you, take them for a trial run. They know it's a trial run. They know you're looking at them, evaluating them, seeing if you really want them. Well, hey, they're seeing if they really want you. Same way with employees. You're evaluating, do you want them, and they're evaluating, do they want to work for you? If you just look at a resume, they may have all the right schools, the right skills, the right whatever, and you think, well, they got everything they're supposed to have, so I guess we'll hire them. Don't do it. I've done it. Don't do it. Just trying to tell you ahead of time. It's a heads up. If you want a successful business, this is not the way to hire. In fact, here's a test, and I started using it. I should have used it early on, but I didn't. But I learned it when I was 17 years old. I had a teacher in my particular program at school, and he said that a smart man taught him a trick in hiring and evaluating people. You take them all out to supper. Who doesn't like supper? I do. He would take them. He would have 5, 6 guys he was hiring for positions. And this particular occasion, a teacher was one of them. He was like, I don't know, 20 years old. So he took them all out to supper at one of his favorite restaurants. He said, just order anything you want, and don't worry about it. It's on the thing. Well, some of them, because it was on the company, they really order stuff. Just, to me, looking on as a business owner, I would have thought, it's outrageous. I wouldn't order that if I was paying for it. Much less if my company was paying for it. But anyhow, I decided I digress. Then some of them ordered like they normally would order, what they would normally order anyway. And then there was one guy, I think, he was hesitant to order anything that cost him anything. He was a bit timid. But the owner of the company just, he just talked and cut up with them and joked around, asked them various questions, asked them about their families, or did they have a family, or where they went to school, shoot the door. So they spent like 2.5 hours or something. Talking, getting to know them, laughing, they could get anything they wanted, including our punk days. The owner was evaluating what they were, what they did. But my teacher said, oh, by the way, my teacher was going to have this group of 5 or 6 people. He said, after he got hired, the owner of the company had him in for a chat. And he said, you're probably wondering, number one, why you got hired. He said, well, yes, sir, I realize I'm good. I'm a good worker. A couple of those guys, man, they like blew me out of the water with all their knowledge and everything. He said, I watched all of you when you got your food. What did everybody do the first thing when they got their food? I don't know. He said, they all seasoned the food before they tasted it. They put salt and pepper on it. And he didn't. And he said, my teacher said, well, how do I know how much I need to season it? I thought I'd taste it first. And the owner said, exactly. How do you know what the food tastes like if you haven't tasted it? So how would you know how to season it? And he said, I knew right then I wanted to hire you. But we continued on this meal because I wanted to see other aspects of these people. He said, what you told me about tasting the food first and then seasoning it to your taste is that if I gave you a project or somebody recommended a project and you were put in charge of it, instead of trying to fix it before you saw how it worked, you would test the project or the thesis or whatever to see how it would work in the clothes that with which it was brought to you before you started trying to fix it. So that is the key thing in all companies that destroys them. They have these smart guys. They know everything. When I say smart guys, including you girls, I mean, y'all might want to think, oh, we would never do that. Yes, you would. So these smart guys, they just go out and do whatever they want to do, the way they want to do it, without testing the hypothesis or the venue, the project that another person, maybe a subordinate or a peer, has brought to them to evaluate. You have to find out how people work. So number one, when you're hiring people, yes, I know some companies are so busy they can't tell the end from the middle. That's irrelevant. You need to see how the people that you want to hire react in a group setting. A couple of people in that group my people went out with, they probably had a little bit too much alcohol. The one that was hesitant, he was this sort of written off almost immediately because he would be hesitant to try anything that would get him in trouble. He didn't accept his boss for his word or anything he wanted. My teacher ordered what he normally would order. He didn't take advantage of the company. He didn't take advantage and go overboard drinking alcohol. He didn't get the least price thing on the menu. He just ordered normal. And he tasted his food before the pre-season. Okay, I hope that gets across what I'm trying to get across. Let me go up for a couple more things. This one some of you will appreciate, especially if you've been in the military. I don't know about your school, but most schools, they'll have the military recruiters come in and talk to them. And this is a true story. This really happened. 4 military recruiters went to this school. The first was the Army guy. Man, he had a presentation, be all you can be, blah, 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 blah. We're the greatest things since sliced bread. Blah. Then the Navy came in. He said, thank the Army guy for the presentation, but here is why you should be in the Navy. Well, I was in the Navy. Of course it should be. Anyway, the next guy comes in, the Air Force guy says, oh, you guys were stupid and wrong. He said, the Air Force, that's the way to go. Blah, blah. Well, the last guy to come up was the Marine recruiter. He stood at the edge of the stage. Just kind of looked at him. Then he said, nope, I don't want any of you. Because you have to understand the Marine Corps. It's the most difficult thing you'll ever do in your entire life. And I don't think anybody in this room is strong enough to be in my Marine Corps. If you think I'm wrong, see me at the back of the room when this is over. So the people that came to the Marine Corps at the back of the room, they pretty much had an idea this isn't going to be a piece of cake. I'm going to have to be tough to be in the Marine. It's not something that appeals to everyone. But the Marines pick their best people to go out and recruit. They're the best in their field. So they get the best people. If you want good employees, take a group of potential employees, 3, 4, 5, count them up, go up to dinner that night. Take the time out of your busy schedule so you can hire good people and you won't be so busy doing stuff to fix what the employees you hired because you were so busy that you couldn't take time to hire the right people and find yourself down to nothing. Get out. Take time to evaluate people. Look at them. Talk to them. Watch them. Listen. Then you talk. And you'll be able to pick up the people that will fit into your culture, at your job, your shop, your office, your organization. Not everybody's a fit. The ones that are, it makes that 2-3 hours that you invested in lunch or dinner and the money more than worth it, because they're going to stick with you. They're going to not mind the commute. They're not going to mind the long hours sometimes come with you. They're not going to mind the day-to-day grind of working because they fit. You're somebody that fits your culture. It could be a church. Can you imagine a pastor? No, I can't. Wait a minute. I got to tell you. I will tell you the story. Anyhow, there was a pastor and a music director. They did not get along. Oh man, it was pretty bad. So anyway, the pastor was trying to be a good leader, and he would let the music minister know what his sermons were going to be and stuff. And the music minister would play music that was totally antithetical to what he was preaching. It was pretty bad. If it had been me, my personality, that dude would have been gone in a second. But after months of this, the pastor resigned and told the board, I just can't work with him. He just doesn't get it. Wrong. He's a pastor. She's going to stick with youth minister, Christian education director, youth minister, whoever. If you're the leader, be the leader. If somebody needs to be fired, fire them. Oh, well, I would like to talk to you about something. No, dude, you're a pain. You've done nothing but undermine me since I've been here. This is your last day. Pick up your check and get out. Oh, I'll take half the congregation with me. If half the congregation wants to follow you, I don't want them in my church. So there. You have to be the leader. Don't have to be me. I was getting that email because these two, this was real. These two people really, yeah, it was not a good situation. But anyway, stuff happens, and you have to recoup from it. Don't be, and there's not a winner and a loser. There's somebody that doesn't take the authority they have. You as the business owner, you as the manager, you as the hiring person in human resources, you have to take the lead. I mean, this person may be, she's so wonderful. I just love her, and she's easy to get along with. Look at her resume, just look at this. You take her out the money and find out if she salt and pepper her food before she eats it. Man, I don't want to work with me. I took a person out to lunch, two people at a time. There's two girls. And I said, y'all could order off this is their lunch menu, and they have some really good stuff on it. That's where I order from all the time. One of these people was a friend I've had for many years, and she said, "Oh, okay." And I said, the steak is real good. I mean, it's a 6-ounce and it's cooked at the top. For the other girl that my friend had brought to me to hire, she's mumbling under her breath. Well, I found out later what she's talking about. Here's what she said under her breath. Why should I have to order off a lunch menu? Why can't I order anything I want? He's taking us out for lunch. I ought to be able to order the biggest steak here and blah, blah. And well, of course, I found that out later. I didn't hire her, by the way. Boy, was I glad. Her attitude was she was entitled. She should be able to order house steak if she wanted. And she was a slender girl. She wasn't overweight or anything, but she felt entitled. You don't want an entitled employee. And so employees should be appreciative of the job, grateful they've done it. You should treat them right. Don't take advantage of them because they're grateful. But boy, was I glad I took her out for lunch and found out as she talked through chomping down the food, she was one of those people that salt covered it before she started eating. And all she could do was complain about the job she had, the way they treated her. They were so awful. They were so terrible. And the company she was talking about, they worked that way. The things that she was talking about was stuff she was supposed to be doing. It's her job. She didn't want to do it. So you can really mess up in hiring. And you can turn people, it can be like, a revolving door. And you wear yourself out. You stay stressed, irritated. You have to go in and fix stuff on the weekends or way early in the morning before everybody else gets there because you have made quick decisions and just hiring somebody to have them fill the spot. Well, I've consulted many businesses over the years, interacted with a lot of church people, also in church departments. The reasons that people do what they do are as varied as there are human beings on this earth. I'm just telling you. You be in charge of your business, your shop, your organization. If you're doing a car wash, you would like loyal employees that will be there. And just hire them because they're a teenager. That is not the answer. So anyway, this is the real. Check this out here on YouTube, which I have YouTube site, a Stephen Love site, and also have Coffee with the Rev, which I believe this video goes under Coffee with the Rev. And it's titled How to Hire and Keep Good People. Not just hire, how to hire and keep good people. And so remember this quote from Auguste Rodin: nothing is a waste of time if you use the experience wisely. Good evening, and thanks for joining me on Sunday evening.